welcome to Mama's Natural. I'm your host, Rusty Red. In this episode, we're going to be making some banana oatmeal bars. The cool thing about these bars is they are healthy, they are toxin-free, you know what's in them, and they are pretty tasty for the kids, and they will hold your kid over pretty well. There's some substance to it. So like, I am a big fan of giving my kids apples or bananas for a snack, but sometimes you just need that little extra substance to a snack to hold them over, and this makes a really great healthy option. And the best part about this is this lasts in the fridge for weeks. I've had mine in the fridge up to 3 weeks before we finished them off, and they were completely fine. There was no question that they were still good. So for this recipe, what you're going to need is you're going to need 2 bananas. You're going to need 3 cups of oatmeal. I usually do Quaker oats. The old-fashioned Quaker oats is usually what I do. You're going to need a sweetener source. Usually I like to do honey, or you can do sugar. I do about half a cup of honey, or you can do half a cup of sugar. You're going to need milk. I do unsweetened vanilla almond milk, and you're going to do a cup of that. A half a cup of coconut oil. I like to get it's an organic virgin coconut oil, so kind of the least tampered with. And then you're going to have a half a cup of chopped walnuts, half a cup of chia seed. The great thing with chia seed is that it is super absorbent, and it is really good at not only absorbing but holding moisture. So these are really good at helping your body stay hydrated. And I'm sure there's other things that I haven't looked up. One of these days I'll do a video on just chia seed and their benefits. There's a lot of benefits to it. And then you're going to do a half a cup of raisins. And then you're going to do a teaspoon of salt. I like to do the Himalayan pink salt. It generally has a little bit more nutrients to it. And it's not, it's better for you than like table salt. Or you can like do sea salt. But table salt is generally not good for you. So it would either do sea salt or Himalayan pink salt. And then a teaspoon of cinnamon, or if you want something a little bit more natural and healthier for you, you can do cardamom. So it'd be, again, a teaspoon of just cardamom. So I'm going to go get my son and have him help me make this. So let's go get him. So this is my helper, Asher. He's going to be helping me with our recipe today. So first things first, we're going to get 2 bananas. I usually like my bananas to be nice and ripe. Ashley, can you take this and start smashing them? You love to smash things. Just, yeah, smash them. Press hard. I like my bananas to be nice and ripe. A lot of brown. Keep smashing. Keep going. A lot of brown. The more ripe they are, the more tasty they're going to be in a recipe like this. Just like you would do kind of for banana bread. The more ripe they are, the more tasty they'll be. So we're going to smash. This is sometimes the kids' favorite part is smashing these. We're going to smash these bananas right up, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
How about you do it?
You want me to do this one? Okay. So we're going to smash these bananas up real good. We want them very pasty. We don't want a lot of big chunks. I mean, you could do chunks if you want, but I usually like mine pasty. The bigger the chunks, the harder it's going to be for the bar to stay together. Those chunks will be a weak point in your bar, and they'll tend to fall apart at those points. So that's where I like it a little bit more pasty.
Mommy?
Do you like these bars, bud?
Yes.
Yeah?
Mommy?
What, honey?
We did a great job building that.
Building that? Yeah, I've got the camera kind of stacked up on some boxes. So I've got 2 cameras going. My video camera, the battery's low, and I just wasn't sure if it would survive and last. So I've got my cell phone is also set up recording, and it's stacked up on some precarious boxes. So our master engineer here loves building projects. Okay. Alright, that's pretty good. And this isn't anything where it needs to be absolutely super specific. Hold on. I just like to make it mashier, and if you got chunks in there, it's not going to be a big deal. So don't get overly specific with it.
Actually, fork prints.
Fork prints, yep. Oh, and before you get too started, you're going to want to pre-start your oven to 350 so that it'll be heating up while we're doing this process.
That means it'll be like Paw Patrol muffins.
We're not making Paw Patrol muffins. One of these days, you and I can see if we can figure that out, okay?
Yes, but first we need a flat edge. Roll it out like this.
Yeah.
And then add the top muffins, then the down muffins, and then the blueberries, then the next Paw Patrol muffins.
Wow, that's quite a process. All right, you want to pour the milk in for me? Woo! There goes a mess. And keep a, where'd my white rag go? Here it is. You want to keep a rag handy, as this happens a lot.
The bowl is filled.
Oh, honey, you don't put the bowl in it, hun.
The bowl is dumped in there.
It did, all by itself? Or did you help it in there, maybe?
I helped it in
You
there.
helped it in there, yeah. Yeah, I kind of figured that was what happened. All right.
Then now it's
Hold
time
on.
for that.
All right, what we're going to do next is, can you put the chia seed in?
Yes.
Yeah, all right.
Mix it to the milk.
Yep, we want to mix it in. You want to mix it? Or do you just like the pouring part? Yep, okay. Now with this recipe, I like to add soft ingredients and wet ingredients first and add the oatmeal last. That way you've got all of your seasonings or your cinnamon and your salt all really well mixed in.
That was enough.
Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to scrape the rest of this honey out. Because if you add the oatmeal in a little bit too soon, it makes it a little bit harder for you to get everything thoroughly mixed in really well. So I found that adding it at the very end just makes the process go a little faster. Good job. Alright, when I add my oatmeal, I like to just do 2 cups first and then mix it in really well before I add the 3rd cup. And you can give or take a little bit on the oatmeal, just depends on how gooey you want this recipe to be. The less oatmeal, the softer and stickier it's going to be, and the more oatmeal, the drier it's going to be. However, if you get too much oatmeal in, it will have a hard time holding together when it comes out, and it'll kind of crumble apart on you later.
We have more raisins we can put.
You want to do a little bit more raisins?
Oh, yes. That's up to you, Mommy.
It's up to me. Well, I think you're right, you know? I think we could add a few more raisins, and that would probably be helpful.
I need a cup for the raisins.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think that should be plenty. Want to add those in for me?
Sure, and I'll taste.
You want to taste a raisin? All right. And half the fun is letting the kids play and enjoy themselves. So basically this is the milk that we use. It's just unsweetened vanilla almond breeze milk. We do the Quaker oats. I do the Himalayan pink salt. Honey, we do raw, unfiltered honey. And then we've got chia seed from Nature's Earthly Choice. And then of course Fisher's walnuts. And then by Spectrum, it's organic virgin coconut oil. And then just your McCormick ground cinnamon. And that pretty much makes up. You gotta dump that in there, bud. Hurry up. Now we're gonna go get our pan.
I'm hungry.
I know you're hungry. How about I get you some water real quick? Here, why don't you drink some water and I'm gonna get the container. So when you put this in your baking pan, depending on how thick you want will just depend on how small of a pan and taller you fill it. I found it just works just fine either way. I will say that with the raisins,
More.
Shh, I'm talking. With the raisins, it is going to make your bars a little bit more tendency to crumble. So if you don't want to have them crumble at all, really, I would just avoid the the raisins. Because everything solid that you add in just adds a weak point to the bar. The more mashy mush you can do, the more it'll stay together for you. And then when you put it in, you want to mash it down and try to get rid of any air pockets, any gaps, so that the bars are nice and firmly mashed together. Oh, okay, that's enough. Before that gets burnt. That's enough. All right, so, buddy, if you want to go find Daddy, I'm going to get this put in the oven. You want to help with the oven part?
Sure.
Okay. Now, go ahead and get down. Remember, our oven is hot, okay? So come on over here and open it up for me. So you only touch this part, okay? Can you pull that open for me?
Sure. I just do one.
Yep. Yeah, sure. Hurry up. There you go. All right, we're going to pull that down. We're going to set that right down in there. There we go. Okay, and now that our oatmeal bars are in the oven, we're going to let those bake for about 35 minutes. And then when they come out, we're going to let them sit for 2 to 3 minutes to cool before we cut them up and put them into our Tupperware. So we'll see you at the end. All right, welcome back. The oven and timer just went off. So let's go ahead and pull out what we got and see how it looks. So I already had one in the oven that's now done. So this is what it's going to kind of roughly look like. And we're going to let it sit and cool. And when it's done cooling, we'll go ahead and cut it up into bars and we'll put it in Tupperwares. Alright, so we've got it done. It's out of the oven. And we're going to go ahead and before it cools too much, I'm going to take and I'm going to cut the bars. It's going to be fairly gooey at this point. This is one of those recipes that it will get less gooey as it dries. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my bar shapes right now before it cools too much. And you can kind of, figure out what size bars you want. I like mine adult bar size, and then I can just break them down from there. That way my husband can also grab these and go, or I can grab these and go, and we don't have a bunch of them that we gotta grab. So here's what they're gonna look like. Let me grab my other hot pad. So this is what they look like when they come out of the oven, and you cut them into the bar shapes. And we're just going to let them cool. Probably, now that they're cut, I'm going to let them cool for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then we'll get a knife and scoop them out and either put them in baggies or Tupperware and throw them in the fridge, and then they're ready to go. Alright, like, subscribe, and in the comments below, if you've made this recipe or a version of this recipe, let me know how did it go and how did you like it. We'll see you in the next video.